cough, 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 cough. Yeah, there he is. All right. Okay, welcome to an extra special installment of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. We're a man short today. Book will not be joining us today, but that's fine because he's rotting in jail where he belongs.
He was kind of booked up for today. So.
And also, my microphone almost exploded. I want to put that on microphone. I want to put that on recorded audio, so I always remember the time. Oh god, excuse me. Whenever I accidentally almost destroyed my my house with my microphone.
Guys, we can't meet tonight. Why? Because I'm homeless for the next little bit.
Yeah. What's the name of the? I'm thinking of music to play for myself. What's the name of the? I know Twilight Town is Kingdom Hearts 2. What was the name? Traverse Town. I couldn't think of it.
Are we putting this through the bot to watch Josh scream?
No, I'm not going to do that to Josh. I'm just doing it for me.
I'll cry.
Yeah, I know. he definitely will. I can't tell if that's coming from my... Okay, it is. Cool. There's a lot of interesting things with my audio setup that have happened ever since I installed WoW. It kind of... I don't know. It kind of...
So maybe WoW destroyed your mic?
No, it wasn't WoW. It was... There's some interesting interactions with how my monitor handles sound. I don't know. The truth about audio engineers is that none of us actually understand where audio goes in and out. We just kind of hope for the best whenever we plug things in. Okay, so anyway...
I warned you about WoW. I told you not to.
Yeah, well, I am a level 33 gnome wizard, and I'm having the time of my fucking life, so... Anyway. So, yeah, the last we left you, and I really should have, done a listen through, because I forgot a lot of, NPC voices and everything, so that should be fun if we ever have to get back to it. But, yeah, where we last left you, Book was carried off to prison, according to code legal, like I just read to you guys, but just for stating again, assaulting or impersonating an official is flogging and imprisonment up to a 10-day and a fine of up to 500 gold pieces. So Book is going to be away for at least 10 days, at most 10 days, leaving you guys in front of the Troll Skull Manor. Where you have been told by Volo, who immediately left as soon as he could, that it is haunted. So, it's 4 stories tall, it's boasting balconies, a turret, a few chimneys, and it's one of the grandest buildings in the alley of Troll Skull Alley. Capitalized by the troll skull on the front door, hanging over the front door as a sort of a capstone corner piece. If it weren't so run down and shoddy, it would be the talk of the town, really. So yeah, you guys have the key, you have the deed. What do you do?
And just a heads up, you're a little robot.
I will get a little closer and turn off other things.
I was going to say, you've been cutting out for me, so I don't know if it's a distance thing or we need to migrate the server or whatever, but...
It's one of those, I'm piecing things together enough to know what's going on, but it's it's straining my brain to figure out what you're saying.
I understand. Thank you for letting me know. Well, let's get this out of the way early. Yeah, you gotta. Let's see. Let's try U.S. Central. Hello, how are we doing? Decent. Hello. Where y'all at, my boys?
That's a little bit better. That's better for me.
Isaac, we still have you? Discord D&D is fun.
Either it's the best prank in the world, or he's not good.
I would not put it past him. I really wouldn't. I'm trying to think of the most
You migrated the server too far.
Yeah, apparently. I moved it closer to him, that's the thing. Let's see. Pop him up on the Facebooks.
He lives in the boondoggles. There's no such thing as closer.
Fucking, I swear to God, if he's being an asshole about it. Well, it's a lovely time to go crazy listen to the Traverse Town theme. He's replying to me. I see you, but no sound. Let me try to reconnect. Okay.
He just left.
Yeah, he's trying to reconnect. Hello?
Hello?
There he is. Alright,
yeah.
Thank God. I don't know what the fuck just happened. Alright,
Yeah, I have no idea.
Am I sounding a little better?
Yeah, no, you sound good.
Alright, cool. So yeah, let me go over everything one more time. You guys are standing in front of the Troll Skull Manor. You guys have the key and the deed. It looks like it could be a beautiful building if it weren't like a little rundown. And trying to think. And yeah, it's pretty much, it would be like the centerpiece of the alley that it's in, Troll Skull Alley, if it weren't, run down or anything. It's still got the large fossilized troll skull on the center door, but it is from the outside very evidently abandoned. What do you do?
Well, I guess I'm gonna go inside.
All right. So you open the door and you notice that you don't actually have to unlock it. It's like already unlocked, which is like weird for an abandoned building. But you step inside and it's dusty. It's a little stagnant in the air, but it's not like necessarily a super creepy vibe. It's midday. It's a little bit past midday, so like light is shining through the dirty windows. There's like upturned chairs that were put on the. If you've ever seen like a restaurant at closing time, the chairs are all on top of the tables and everything. Some of them have fallen over or broken, but it's not the worst looking abandoned building you've ever seen. And that's just the first floor anyway. Yeah, you can see like there's a bar set up over there, over on one side of the room. A couple like little cubbies. It's very much a typical but very large tavern floor. Like it is exceptionally large.
Okay. I guess just check out the rest of the place, get the lay of the land.
All right. Let me consult my map here. Come on. Where are you at? Let's see. Third floor. All right, first floor. Yeah. So, walking through the tap room, you see there's a stairway up to the next. You see there's a stairway up to the next floor, as well as a hatch to a basement. It looks like next to a pantry and kitchen area, kind of like a combined kitchen pantry. Which one would you like to take? Would you like to take the hatch to the basement, or would you like to try the stairs?
How many stories were there? Like, just from the outside, how could we tell?
It's 3 floors with an attic and a basement.
Okay, then I would say I'd probably check the basement out first, because it's going to be down and back up, then all the way up, so.
Okay. You place your hand on the hatch to the basement and open it a little bit, and then it immediately pulls itself shut.
It's the poltergeist.
All right. Can I try it? Can I try it again and like hold it open?
Yes. As a matter of fact, roll a strength check for me.
Where's my good dice? All right. Sure. My strong dice. My strong dice aren't really. It's a 5.
It's a 5. All right. Yeah. 1 second, because in my franticism to get my microphone to not explode, I forgot to get my own dice. 1 second.
Gotta get them strong dice. Rolls a 2.
All right. Luckily,
You just use the super racist one in Discord.
I heard super racist, and I was like,
Super racist die. The one that doesn't like elves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I forgot about that one. Well, it's a good thing neither of y'all are elves.
Yeah, it's to our benefit.
Jesus,
we get good rolls.
Trying to find a. No, that's.
I'm just saying, ghosts can't be that strong.
So yeah, you said you rolled a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pull it open and it shuts closed again. And a bit of dust clears up in the shape of a couple words, and in common it just is written closing time.
I'd like to lean down and write open the doors and let you all into the world.
Wait, open the doors and do what?
Never mind. It was a bad joke. I'm sorry.
I know the song Closing Time, but I don't know the lyrics super well.
He says closing time, open all the doors and let you all into the world.
Honestly.
I'm gonna say, what are business hours?
So, you hear a shuddering on, one of the door shutters, and it kind of clacks, and it eventually throws itself shut, closing off one of the entries of light into the room. So it's just a little bit darker, not like significantly.
So he doesn't like.
What would you like to do?
All right.
Don't we know? I was just say, don't we know his name?
His name is Leaf. L-I-F.
Drosh just gonna be like, listen, Leaf. We bought this house from the previous owner, so you don't have to deal with him anymore. So welcome to work with you to get over your transgressions, but there's no need to be hostile now.
Roll a persuasion for me.
$13.
Okay. All is like very silent for a second, and then you see a dusty tankard made of pewter metal slide from one end of the bar, and then you see it float upwards and park itself underneath a keg, and pour what looks like rancid, decades-old beer into this tankard. The tankard then sets itself back on the bar and pushes itself as close to you as possible.
Cool. I'm actually, I don't drink, but my friend here does, and I'm just gonna into Rush's hand.
Gonna ritual detect poison and disease.
Yeah, I'll get that one.
Actually, no. Better than ritual cast purify food and drink.
All right, yeah. I wonder if that, because like number one, I don't really know if like beer super expires, because that's like kind of a thing you do with alcohol is age it. But I mean,
it definitely expires.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like,
got a shelf life.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Purify food and drink. Let me think about this. Okay, yeah. So you cast that on what looked kind of like a cup of sludge, and what is left behind is like a cup of sparkling golden like amber ale. It looks like a positively like enjoyable cup.
And I take a drink.
When you do that, you have advantage, by the way. Now, sorry, you have inspiration. So when you do this, it tastes just fine. It's a little warm. It's not like the coldest beer you've ever had, but it's certainly beer.
I do shape water around my hands and make it icy. So now it's frosty.
Damn, yeah, you just got yourself a nice fucking cup of beer here. It's like chilled glass. It's cold activated. It's got like the sign, like the sigil of a troll skull on the side of it. Now that it's cold.
Meanwhile, Geralt's thinking, "Damn, if I had known he could have done that, I wouldn't have lied about the drinking thing."
So, yeah, you do this, and you hear what sounds like a sigh, but it's not like a sigh of exasperation, or like, yeah, it's not a sigh of exasperation. It's more like a sigh of relief, as you start to see, chairs that were put on the tables, lift themselves off and set themselves gently on the floor, and the tap room floor is beginning to arrange itself in a way that is like acceptable for business.
I think this ghost wants us to sell some tea.
And like once the chairs are done, you see a very old, very very bristled up broom start to sweep away dust. Almost kind of like futishly so, but it's working on it.
I'll help him out. I'll do some like shape water and kind of like use some like moisture to kind of like pseudo mop and like clean up some of the excess dust.
So you want to you want to help Leaf clean up the Troll Skull Manor?
Yeah, man.
All right, Geralf, what are you doing?
Geralf is gonna, I guess, just grab a broom and do the same.
All right, fucking cool. Hey guys, what do you do in D&D this night? You know, fucking housework. So, yeah, you guys get to work cleaning the ground floor, and with Leaf's help, with the symbolic gesture that was you know, cleaning the beer and you know, turning over a new leaf.
Hey.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice. Yeah, he actually helps you get a lot of the work done like really quickly. Isaac, are you like eating like sun chips like on an active 747 runway or something?
It's a candy bar.
Jesus Christ, it's like the loudest damn candy bar. So yeah, before you know it, you guys like it's really gonna take the work of the contractors and stuff that that you hired that you got with Quill to really fix everything up, like repair foundational damage and like, you know, a lot of the woodwork. But for a cleaning job of a couple hours, you guys like really sorted the place out, and it looks like almost downright inviting. You even have like a small fire going in the nearby fireplace. It's giving it like a nice tone to the rest of the room. It's not really needed because it's like late spring, but it's still like a nice little touch.
Man, I'm so glad I went with this option rather than my first instinct.
Which is to fight the ghost?
No, first instinct. Turn the knob. Cast Turn Undead.
Oh, God.
Jesus, that would have been bad. I guess Geralt's gonna let Leaf know about the guys that are coming to fix up the house, and ask that he not spook on them too hard.
On one of the windows that is still a little musty, just like because it's going to take like a glass workers to take care of it, he draws a little heart. Yeah. So, it's around like late afternoon when the first bunch of guild representatives arrive, and
can I do a thing?
Yeah, sure.
So, this guy, like, Leaf is mostly communicating using, like, dust and, like, things like that.
Yes.
Once we clean this place up, I want Chloe to communicate with him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, like, a picture frame, and I'm going to put two, like double-sided glass, and in the middle of it, I'm going to put some dust and sand, and I'm going to make a fantasy etch-a-sketch for Leaf.
I will let you do this, like, for free, because I love that. I can even tell you that, like, a chalkboard would not be difficult to procure. As a matter of fact, part of what I wanted to do this session was exploring Troll Skull Alley and meeting your neighbors, and there's a really solid chance that you could pick yourself up a chalkboard in this like alley.
Fair enough.
But if you want to do the Etch-a-Sketch thing, that is also totes like a thing you can definitely do.
I mean, I'll commit to it for now, but I mean, we'll probably get some other stuff too.
Got you. So anyway, so it's about like a few hours after you get all the cleaning done and everything. It's looking like early evening that a lot of the contractors and stuff get there, and they actually, like, with a bit of trepidation enter the premises because they're aware of its like haunted reputation. But when they see that it's been like all nice and cleaned up, they're like, they're like, all right, yeah, these guys can get some work done and everything. And let's see, the main guy of the Masons Guild. Let me see, Waterdeep names. I don't want to have to like scroll up to the top of the book like all the time, but man, it would just be really nice to be able to have the list of Waterdeep names. Yeah. So the guy from the Masons Guild, his name is Mezum, Mezum. He has you sign a couple things, and he's like,
so Mezum the Mason.
Mezum the Mason, yes. He checks off a couple things, and he's like taking a look at the woodwork, and he's like, well, it's not going to be easy, but that's why you paid us, isn't it? I tell you what, I'll get my boy Vader on this. Is a young man, very trustworthy. He'll be coming around every week, give or take, to assess everything, get some guys working on this. Should have you up and running in, I don't want to say a month.
Cool. Thanks, my man.
All right. So, yeah. So, wow, yeah, you guys fucking knocked the ghost thing out of the park way earlier than I thought you would. So, you guys have not only ascertained, do you want to, like, explore the rest of the building?
Yeah. Definitely want to see what else we got.
Okay. You want to do the balcony, or, I'm sorry, not the balcony, the basement, or the other parts first?
Yeah, let's go basement and then work our way up.
So, you take a jaunt down to the basement, and it looks like it's divided into two separate cellars. You have a wine cellar with a very empty rack, with like maybe like a couple of old bottles that have mostly been broken or emptied. And you see an ale cellar with right next to this. It's kind of like one big open room with like archways to separate them. The ale cellar is a bunch of casks and barrels that have mostly been either drained or have expired. And you also notice that there are a couple like abandoned hay makeshift beds on the ground, which implies that homeless folks have probably holed up here more than once.
Okay. Are any of the wine bottles, like, are those intact? Because those you want to age for quite a bit, so...
Roll me a investigation.
Skills, investigation... 16.
Alright. Yeah, you find so like most of the bottles have been like ransacked, or they're gone, they're empty, or they're broken, like just straight up. But as you're like rummaging around and everything, you turn one over and you see like a bottle that is you see a bottle that was like tucked behind a couple, and you find a couple bottles of a actually kind of rare vintage. You find a couple bottles of Neverwinter Black Ice Wine with a vintage that is dating back to about like 150 years ago.
Hey.
Which in like Forgotten Realms time is not super long, but it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got probably like 4 bottles, and a bottle apiece is like for an old vintage like this, you could probably like get like 5 gold apiece for each bottle of these for like the discerning tasting customer.
Right. Okay. So we got the wine cellar, the ale cellar.
Yeah, the ale cellar didn't really.
Like,
I'll take the same investigation thing. The ale cellar really didn't have anything.
Okay, and then there's a couple beds.
Yeah, like some
makeshift.
Yeah, abandoned like hay beds.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess Giralf will check upstairs.
Yeah. Well, after that, I would follow Giralf too. That's really all. I'm not really doing anything like hardcore. I'm just kind of like, new homeowners like looking. What can we do with the place?
Exactly. So the second floor, you walk up into a common room. It's very evidently a common room. It's kind of like it's got a fireplace on the wall that is connected to the. It looks like you have a multi-tiered fireplace that goes up through the entire building. So like if you were to light a fire here, it would be like lit with the fire on this first floor as well. And
it's lit, fam.
Yeah, no doubt.
What is lit, fam?
The door to the north has what appears to be a den. Probably used for a den. It's got like a nice it's got like a multi-directional window layout, but there's nothing in it, and it's connected to the balconies to the outside. This is where like all the balconies are accessed from. And to the south there's a single bedroom that you could probably fit multiple beds into and like make it kind of like an inn kind of deal with a spare room off to the side.
Okay, I would check out the balconies.
So you take a step out into the balconies and you look over. You look over from the balcony and you have a really solid view of the alley. The alley is kind of like a V shape. Both forks of it are considered the same Troll Skull Alley. And from both sides, you guys are like at the very bottom of the V where it meets up. And so you look out and you see like a couple of the local shops and institutions in the local place. You see a door that is a small wooden sign over it that is completely bare except for like a almost comically large bent nail sticking out of it. You see right next door to that is a what is evidently, like immediately just by looking at it, a blacksmith called Steam and Steel. And the sign is actually quite elaborate. It looks like it's designed to mimic fire and water meeting up to each other and then becoming steam in the middle. You also see a shop called Corellan's Crown, which has like a very viney floral design to the sign, as well as the Tiger's Eye, which looks like a magnifying glass that is being focused on the eye of some feline.
Okay. So then I'm gonna go back in, and then just real quick, I'm checking to see if he's just bound to the first lower levels or if he has like over the entire place. I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, Leaf, you up here, man?"
High or low?
Low.
You hear a knocking on one of the doors nearby.
Cool. Just checking to see where you're at, man.
Right. Besides that, this floor seems empty. Any furniture that wasn't like nailed to the ground, like cabinets and everything, have long since been moved out.
Gerald's gonna call Rush over and be like, "Hey, Rush, let's talk for a second. I think I got an idea."
All right, what you got?
So this place is I wouldn't describe it as the cleanest establishment I've ever seen in the world. Like a little spooky, right?
Right.
And we're in a more high-end district. Maybe not the richest people in the world, but like these people have got some money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's turn this place into a bar, and we'll market it as like a gothic, vintage, kind of spooky,
Yeah, no,
almost like
let's lean into the ghost.
yeah, almost like I heard of this really great drink place over at the Yawning Portal. They talked about that they sell tea or something, and apparently they don't. They have a bunch of invisible workers that work for them, and it's really worked out for them. So like, we literally have free wait staff.
I wonder if Leaf can wear a party hat.
Holy shit!
You may be able to pick it up either way.
Yeah, no, I'm totally down. I mean, Leaf definitely seems. I mean, yeah, he definitely seems on board for restoring this to its former glory. So, I mean, I say yeah.
You do recall Volo mentioning that Leaf is the spirit of the former owner.
So I mean, he wants. I think he, obviously with him setting up shop when we started cleaning this place up, like I think he's on board with it. We keep the spirit appeased, make some money, we get some I see no wrong, no downsides.
Sounds good to me, dude. Now we just gotta find a real person to help us run this place when we're not around.
That's fair enough.
If only there was some kind of innocuously named person who just happened to be looking for work, going around.
I might know a guy.
I was about to say, yes, perhaps you have heard of the Apprentice Wizard Root Beer. He's looking to... he's trying to pay his way through Arcane University. But... No, who am I kidding? Root Beer the Wizard... Root Beer the Wizard is one of the finest arcanists in the land. He wouldn't be caught dead working at an establishment like this.
Oh my god.
So, okay.
If only there were two seemingly young, attractive, maybe blue, slightly tiefling people that we could turn to in our time of need.
Well, hey, song was blue, dance was purple.
Did we murder them? No, they ran.
No, they are alive.
No, Luther tried and it didn't work.
Yeah, you are not taking those away from me. Okay, so yeah, tell me. I'll even spice this up. We're gonna do a very rare and only this time only unless I change my mind later. A two-pronged. I know a guy. So Josh and Isaac, I want let's just roll flat initiative, no bonus for me.
So just this flat roll? Or
just give me a flat d20, sorry.
Okay. I got a 4.
Josh.
Gotcha, bitch, I got a 5.
Oh, shit. All right, there you go. So, yeah, Josh, tell me about the character that you would like added to the waitstaff.
I'm gonna be real with you. I just really wanted to push for song and dance to come back and be recurring characters.
Do you... I would love to do this, but here's the thing. I know Mark is going to try to murder them. You know what, though? It's kind of like...
I mean, that's kind of par for the course, though. We already don't like Buck.
I mean, yeah, you know what? All right.
Luther already tried to murder them once, so it's not like...
They're also, like... They've got to be, like... They were, like, chilling with the Inquisition and were, like, on the run for a while. They've got to be, like, level, like, 12 or something by now. Okay, so... Yeah, Isaac, do you want to lean in on this?
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. I mean...
Alright, cool. Fucking recurring characters. So,
I mean, because they were, like, young adult teenagers when we hired them, right?
They'd be in their early 30s now.
Yeah.
I believe I said they were twins, so yes. So you guys are, would you say that, I mean, Rush, you would probably know them because, like, do you think that Rush would have ever been to...
Oh, he read up on Jeremon, like, left and right. Like, he knows
so,
shit.
Yeah, he knows, like, these auxiliary characters and everything. So, you might have not have ever met them, but you're scouting out like some of the less well-known taverns and establishments from the place. Also, whenever you went to the third floor, and this was something that I was going to, whenever you go to the third floor and you go to the library and study, which was supposed to be a door that you couldn't unlock without Leaf's help, you enter it and you find a gold chest with 1,000 gold pieces in it.
Hey, none of that's going to book.
There's our startup.
That's essentially what it's supposed to be. So, yes, you are out in you're in like a tavern in the dock ward. We'll call it the Flamin' Wagon. Because it's got like it's got the image of like a caravan wagon that's like on fire on the sign, and it's supposed to be like a place for like caravaneers to chill out before they get their stuff hawked out to the main ward in the city. And it's actually like kind of rowdy right around now because it's high time for a lot of the festival people to start coming into town. So you're in here like talking to people, trying to see if there's anyone, when you see someone hop up on a piano. And pianos are like kind of rare instruments in the Forgotten Realms, but they do exist. You see a beautiful woman. She's a tiefling, blue skin, that hops up on this piano, and she starts like playing a couple soft jazzy pieces, while a purple tiefling starts like clacking down on a small little percussion setup in his hands. And they start playing like just a very somber little tune for what look like meager tips. These two are dressed in like actually quite fine clothing, but very worn fine clothing. It's clear that like it's been through its fair share of dust and just wear and tear, but at one point they were very fine garments. And they play like a small little set while all the caravaneers kind of just pay them no mind. And after a song, the blue-skinned tiefling girl thanks everyone that wasn't really listening to her, but she sees that the two of you like actually were kind of watching, and she smiles and waves as she kind of takes a break on the just like sitting at the piano.
And I'll walk up to her and say, "Hey, great set. Like, really like your work."
Thank you. You don't happen to work here, I guess, or visiting or something?
No. I'm from out of town, new in town. I actually recognize you guys. I grew up in Baldur's Gate.
Oh, you have my condolences, kid.
Oh no! I'm trying to make my slice of pie. I got out of there. Things weren't so great. It's all good. No love lost.
Yeah, you have no idea how hard I can relate to that. My name's Song Luxendark.
I know who you are. That's what I said. I recognize you.
Oh, you. So you, yeah.
No, I grew up no, I would know them, but I wouldn't have seen them because it would have been before.
You probably could read about them or
let me think about. Yeah, I probably would have read because I'm trying to think how young I would have been.
Not to mention, and you as a Ganassi would know this, but tieflings are in Waterdeep. They're all over the place. In Baldur's Gate, it's not quite as super liberal.
Right.
It's like the difference between, I want to say, fantasy Detroit and fantasy New York.
Okay. Yeah, because this campaign is 10 years after the ending of the last one, right?
5.
And then
it's a total 15 after the end of part 2, if that makes sense. From whenever,
okay,
it's 15 years after you met Song and Dance for the first time, so they're 35.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. he wouldn't have. Yeah, Rush would have only been like 2 or 3
Yeah.
when they were. So yeah, he probably wouldn't have seen them, but he would have. Okay, so he's like, well, okay, so I'm gonna retcon a little and say, oh, and it just kind of when she says her name, just kind of like look back and be like, oh, I've read about you guys, going back, reading of the rise of the various Grand Dukes and Baldur's Gates.
Oh yeah, believe me, I know way more about that than I think anyone really should. But
What?
that's kind of better left buried. Me and my brother are in a better place now.
Well, that's good to hear. All that really interests me, but I mean I respect your decision to kind of leave what the past in the past. But speaking of the past, given your what I know of you, it seems like you would have a fair share of experience running certain drinking establishments.
And go ahead.
I have a proposition for you. Me and my business partner over. Are you with me, Giraffe, or just kind of wandering around, or?
I'm probably poking around somewhere.
Okay, me and my business partner over there, and I just kind of motion over to him. We recently came into possession of an establishment we're trying to get up and running, and it would help to have a little bit of experience.
And Song looks at you and like kind of relaxes her chin on like a fist and looks at you. And she's like, well, it's kind of funny. If you don't mind me saying, you do look the adventuring type. And listen, the last time that some adventurers came and asked me to run a bar, it kind of ruined my life. So I'm not exactly totally sure what you're trying to get through here, but you understand why I'm a little anxious. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm looking for work, but it's kind of a difficult thing you're asking me.
I understand that. You know, I understand that. Um, mm, you know, uh, I get that, and if there's something that I can do to help you sweeten the deal, like just kind of let me know. Like we're just working this up. Like you said, we are the adventuring type. Full disclosure, so it's not something that we're looking to do full time.
And
but it is something.
It's around this time that Dance notices that his sister has been talking to someone for like a notably long amount of time, and he like walks on in and he's like, "Oh, hello, who's this? Who's your friend?" Song, hello, Dance, Luxendark, pleasure to meet you. Is there something wrong? Is there a problem of some sort? don't want any trouble at the tavern. You understand? We only just got here.
Oh no, no trouble. Just offering some work. I assume, based on this, that you would be Dance, right?
Yes, the one and only, of course. This man is palpably, how should I say, just flamboyant. His clothing is like adorned with like peacock feathers and like mismatched gems and jewels and everything, kind of tacky but just very attention catching. And he's like, well, why is that? Are you looking for something? Oh, we'd be more than.
Well, I mean, I was just talking to your sister here about me and my business partner are looking for some experience to run an establishment we're opening up.
And she Song like looks back and she's like, "No, we're not doing this again." And then Dance is like, "You know what we're," and they like start like whispering back and forth to each other, kind of like arguing, and you catch like one or two like words thrown between the two of them out like out of context, but eventually Dance puts a hand on her shoulder and he looks up and he says, "Let's talk rates."
Okay. Also, I want to be upfront. I don't want any discomfort or ill will towards me and my partner. So, you know, we could be flexible with contracts. You know, if you want out, you're out. You know, no questions asked. I understand. Like, it's you know, it brings up some rough experiences for you guys. So, you know, I don't want you to be bound to something that your heart's not in.
Oh, now, listen, dear Song has always been a little bit of a sourpuss, and she punches the shit out of his shoulder for saying that. But he keeps on talking, and he's like, "Now, what she's saying is right, and that was a bit of a rough period, but food doesn't pay for itself, you know. So,
And that's, I mean, that's fine. You know, I understand though, and you know, we can definitely help in that. You know, like we're just looking basically for some sort of return, and I have an emotion over to Geralf now and kind of say like I think I found you know, I'm not gonna make any decisions without my business partner, so let me get him in over here.
Yeah, Geralt's gonna jog over and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hello.
Hey.
Dance Luxembourg at your service, and Song's like, "Hi, I'm Song."
So
Oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Geralt.
so these guys I actually know quite well, like reading into of them based on the history of Baldur's Gate, and they actually have worked uh, in a fairly successful drinking establishment in Baldur's Gate before the Inquisition and all that. And you know, so they have some experience, and I just, you know, propositioned them to help us out. So kind of talking over ideas, and you know, so just kind of throwing things out there. And I, you know, I didn't want to make any decisions without you, so just kind of keeping you in on it.
And Geralt's gonna be like, "Well, thanks for that. Where did they work before this?"
Well, and Dance is again taking the lead on it. He seems like the much more outgoing of the two. Dance says, well, we were employees of the founding location of the now world famous All Natural Tea Shop. That's us. We were the first wait staff. Well, technically, Song was there before I was, but that's a totally different thing. But yes, circumstances changed and we need to depart town, but rest assured we have plenty of experience.
Quietly, kind of like, almost like he's gonna be like, "You worked at All Natural."
Oh, yes.
Like,
About a
like
couple
he's
of years,
very excited about it.
matter of fact.
Oh my goodness! Yes, you're hired. Done.
Alright. So, yeah, you guys have successfully hired Song and Dance. Now, I'm going to send you guys a floor plan of the Troll Skull Manor, or whatever you might want to call it if you want to name it something different. Let me see here. Because I was going to say, like, you totally have the option of letting them live there, because there's, like, there's plenty of room for multiple bedrooms, or even, like, you know, you can section off, like, a little bit for, and I'm also, like, open to there being more bedrooms than this floor plan, details, just for, like, you know, the obvious reasons of making it easier. to work with if you want to turn it into an inn.
We're building an expansion.
Honestly, but yeah. So Song and Dance will probably share like the bedroom on the second floor and would work the establishment as you guys like improve it.
Oh,
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk to Song and Dance about?
I think
Giraffe's just gonna look at them and be like,
I'm gonna pull Giraffe to the side and be like, all right, so I don't want to spook them immediately, but at the same time, I don't want to spook them there either. Do we disclose our little leaf problem?
well, first of all, I don't know if I'd call it a problem.
That's fair enough.
And you guys do remember that if these two worked as established earlier, the All Natural Tea House did have like autonomous servants. They wouldn't be strangers to that.
Yeah. How long is
we
it?
Don't reveal the true face of what it is just yet. They have some more details about what we want the place to be.
Fair enough. So, are we disclosing anything, or we could allude to, a similar setup to All Natural and say we're kind of modeling it that way with unseen servants, or just nothing at all, or...
That's probably a good idea. Maybe let them in on the business idea a little bit, just so they're not worried about working in a rundown, ruddy manner.
Alright. So I turn back around and be like, alright, so here's our idea for this place. It's the old rundown manor over on Charles Skull. So we're gonna kind of lean into that, to keep our. I mean, obviously we're gonna go in and do like the maintenance, everything to make sure it's structurally sound.
Right.
To lean into the whole spooky factor, we're thinking like kind of do like a gothic like spooky vibe. Maybe get some like unseen servants to act as like ghosts and poltergeists, like kind of lean into the spookiness of it, and like for people that have like adrenaline junkies.
And you see you can see Dance's ears like perk up like excitedly, and he's like, oh yes, it's not difficult to find a poltergeist in the first place. We can get a real haunting going if you want.
Oh, I mean we could talk some stuff, like we still like we don't want to like push too much on things yet until you don't want to invest in something until you like I don't want to sink myself on an investment that might not, so like let's baby steps in.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go and check out the place. I'll talk Song into being a little less reluctant about it, because she just takes a little bit of talking to, and she punches the shit out of him again. And we'll set ourselves up, see where we can pitch ourselves in the most until it gets up and running and everything. It's a pleasure to work with you. We just talked about all of this, and we don't even you were Rush, right? And that was Jarolf?
Yeah.
It's a pleasure working with you boys.
Yeah, no, and hopefully we have a long and successful business relationship.
All right. So I think that's where that scene will end there. So you guys have like several like things to do here. I personally recommend like checking out.
Yeah, I was gonna go meet the neighbors.
Exactly.
Maybe put up some flyers, asking if we can hang some stuff in their establishments and kill two birds with one stone.
Is that agreeable with you, Josh?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So, the next day passes. You guys basically put your camping equipment to use to like sleeping in the Troll Skull before you actually have like real beds in there. And the next day, you step outside, and sitting, not so sitting, but like standing, is a human man standing in the width of the alley. And this human man is looking the building up and down. It is important to note that he is the quintessential detective looking. I'm talking like he's wearing like the Sherlock Holmes hat. He's got like the weird like half poncho thing and the overcoat going down with like a button up shirt underneath it, with complete with a monocle. And he's looking it up, and he's looking it down, and he looks at you guys coming out, and he's like, "Oh, well, hello.
Can I help you?
Ah, yes, of course. Vincent Trench, a pleasure. How are you today, boys?"
I mean,
Good.
Yeah.
Can we help you?
Yeah.
Well, I heard there were new neighbors in town. I'm the owner of the Tiger's Eye. You see, there are many things that go missing, many people who go missing in Waterdeep. It's a big city, you understand, and there's just lots of things that need to be found out. I just wanted to come and introduce myself. I am a renowned detective, unmatched in all the land, as much as that damnable gnome wanted to try before I ran him out of town. But, yes, all I'm trying to say is that I'm offering my services to you if you ever need. If there's something you need, a secret uncovered, you've got your boy Vincent at the Tiger's Eye. Will you be opening the place to the public, or is it more of a residential thing?
I think we're gonna kind of do, bottom floor open to the public. Maybe talk about expanding an end to the second floor eventually, but for the time being, probably just bottom floor. We're doing maybe do a little tabernesque, something low key, and then go from there based on how business goes.
Ah, yes, I'm quite looking forward to it. It's part of town's always been dreadfully short on fine drinking establishments. No proper pub, anyway. Well, boys, must be off. Plenty of things to find, plenty of things to inquire about. If you have any need, well, here's my card. And he hands Rush. He hands you a card which mimics the logo that is seen on the sign of his building, and it says Vincent Trench, Tiger's Eye Detective.
So, it's just a detective agency? It's not like a shop?
Nah, just detective.
Okay.
Although, I mean, like, if you'd like to buy a nice suit or something, I have plenty left over. I think I have a couple extra hats.
No, I'm just making sure. Just kind of getting a feel for what's around, like, it's one of those things you got to know the businesses around you. You don't want to, put your business in the wrong, got to keep your demographics in line. So, trying to see what's around so we know what kind of people we're drawing in.
Quite. Well, I tell you what, I'll give you one for free. You're sitting in quite possibly one of the, I wouldn't say the most diverse part of town. That would be Dock Ward. Always Dock Ward. But it's a surprisingly fine mix of the gentry and the common folk around here. Plenty of people with coin coming around. Lots of young folks, especially. Not quite as popular as the Yawning Portal, mind you, but nowhere as popular as the Yawning Portal. But a lot of services that you can find here for much, much less than the central streets, you understand.
Yeah. And I don't think we're not looking to compete with the Yawning Portal, I don't think. I think we're just looking up a nice little, quiet little place, nothing huge, just kind of an alternative, not a competition.
That's a good thing it's not competitive, because old Durnan wouldn't have any of it. Well, alright. Like I said, it must be off, but I'll tell a friend or two. Let me know whenever the place is open. I'll come by for a pint.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you
Just
need me?
looks at Jelf like, dude, that guy's weird.
Yeah, and let me tell you, there's nothing more disconcerting than a detective showing up on your doorstep.
Yeah, I think we maybe until we get a better read on him, just be scarce with details. I don't feel the need to lie to him, but he didn't need to know everything either.
Mm-hmm.
So, you need me to go down the list of institutions in this alley one more time?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You've got the Bent Nail. That's what you're calling it, because the sign is just a plain sign with a bent nail in it sticking out of it. You have Steam and Steel, which is the blacksmithery. You have Corellan's Crown, which seems to be an herbalist. And then you have the Bookworm's Treasure, which is obviously a bookstore with like a golden dragon curled around a treasure hoard of books on the sign.
All right. Geographically placed, what is the order like as far as the street? Like, where are we in position with these shops as well?
You were directly in the middle. Like I said, Troll Skull is like a V that meets, and you were like where the V meets at the bottom.
Okay.
So I was gonna say, the Bent Nail, Steam and Steel, and Corellan's Crown are like from left to right on your left, and then Tiger's Eye and Bookworm's Treasure are to the right of you on the other branch. They're all like a couple minutes of walking.
Okay. I'm kind of interested in that Bent Nail. See what's going on down there, and that's also the furthest away, right?
Yeah, farthest away from to the left.
Yeah, so we'd go there and just kind of work our way back, I would imagine.
Okay. So yeah, you head on in, and the place smells like sawdust. And this is because whenever you look down at your feet, much like Outback Steakhouse, for some stupid fucking reason, they put like all kinds of fucking like sawdust on the ground and wood chips. And then you look back. Go ahead.
They're peanut shells?
Yeah, really. And then you look back up and you see a elven or possibly a half-elven man who is whittling away at a beautiful bed frame made of like cedar wood, and he's just going to town on it. And he looks over and he's like, just a moment. And then he like finishes a little inscription. And he goes up and he's like, hello. How can I help you?
Yes. My name's Rush, and this is my business partner Gerald, and we're just trying to meet our new neighbors. We bought the old creepy manor, just trying to meet everybody around us, see what's going on.
You're the one who got the. I'm trying to figure out what this dude's accent is. Have I hit y'all with the Scottish guy yet?
I don't think so, and I kind of was getting a Scrooge McDuck vibe from you just now.
Well, all right, cool. That's no. I need to save Scrooge McDuck for another character. I really need to. Oh god. I really need to like practice my voices out before. I'll just keep on going with that, I guess. Well, it's you must have bought out the Troll Skull. Oh, it's very good. I only wish that well, I'm not quite a mason, but you must be needing furniture. Yes, everything's all torn to pieces over there. Yes.
Yeah, I think the just quick recap. So the bottom level, with like in the tavern itself, the furniture, like the tables and chairs, like they're not like the best condition. But
yeah,
are they with our aesthetic of wanting to do like the creepy thing? Are they functional?
They're functional.
Or they are gonna like fall apart.
They're pretty fragile. They've been sitting around for 40 years.
Okay. So, we could probably use some stuff. Definitely like upstairs and furnishing, living quarters and the den and all. Like we need to furnish the top 2 floors for sure.
Oh yes, of course.
Bottom floor, we're actually looking at like leaning into like the spookiness of it. So like maybe like just reinforce what's already there so it doesn't fall apart, but maintain like the old like spooky vibe to it.
My boy, listen. My name's Tally Sullivan, by the way. You can call me Tally. Listen, I've been doing this for a very long time, and there's no reason to skimp out on aesthetic for comfort. You understand? What I'm trying to tell you here is I can do both.
Oh, good.
And I'm gonna look at Gerald and be like, well, is our third partner, is he gonna be content with parting with his old furniture?
Uh, I mean, we could ask, get some designs drawn up for what the new furniture would even look like, and then
You can roll an insight for me if you want to make this a little easier.
Okay.
let's see here. I have a 19.
I got a 10, so yeah, let's do the 19.
Yeah. Gerald, you're getting a pretty judging by how Leaf reacted to like the ale and everything, and the work that you guys have already done. You get the feeling that, and judging by the fact that Leaf hasn't rebelled against the creepy thing, you get the feeling that Leaf probably doesn't care as long as the building is running.
Okay. So yeah, yeah, but yeah, so let's do aesthetic and comfort then. Like I said, still looking at some creepy stuff. If you want to throw in, like, maybe even some, like, creepy inscriptions and stuff, and, like, creepy riddles that kind of, a little on the darker side. Nothing, like, actually, like, gonna do nothing, like, serious, but just kind of, like, fun, like, spooky dooky stuff.
Oh, oh, yes, of course. And you see his eyes kind of light up with ideas. He actually, you're noticing now that he's like quite an old man as far as half elves go. He's got like a couple cataracts, but looking at his work that you're seeing in here with the shields and the bows and the furniture that he's made here, that it's not suffering for any. I tell you what, I will take the place up and down furnished for a flat rate, 100 gold. We'll do the entire place.
How much we got left of our startup?
You still have 1,000. You haven't spent any.
Oh, we haven't spent any. Oh yeah, because we haven't made deals with Song.
No. Well, I was gonna say like Song and we'll deal with that later. I'd probably give you guys like Song and Dance's like pretty much full game time service for like another 100, if that's cool.
Yeah, because like we are supplying them with like a place.
Yeah, like they still need.
I imagine food and stuff. Like
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, they still need to get paid because like Waterdeep has rules about that. But yes.
Of course.
Labor laws.
Pretty much, yeah. No, Waterdeep is
I don't want Magic OSHA coming after me, so.
and listen, there is Magic OSHA. Dude, Waterdeep is so thoroughly bureaucratic, they will get on your ass for any reason they can. What was I gonna say? Yeah.
So 100 for the furniture, 100 for Song and Dance.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm cool with that if Gerald is.
That's fine to me.
All right. And Tally starts putting together plans for you guys. So you just want to move down the alley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, question.
What's up?
When we were kind of going through either between like the manor or just the history of the, did we ever find like a history of the manor or know a history of the manor?
Not that no, you didn't really find anything in there. You could probably like ask locals. And I mean
the reason I'm asking is if like there was like, I'm looking for like images, portraits, or anything of Leaf when he was like not dead.
Oh, I like that actually. Let me think about that.
Yeah, no, we can address that later. But
yeah, I mean, why
I'm asking.
You do know a detective now.
That's true. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll put that on the list because I do like that a lot. So the next store down the line is Steam and Steel, which is the blacksmith, and it's daylight hours, so smoke and steam are billowing through the many windows because they have like an indoor forge. And as you walk in, you see and Rush, this is cool because this is the first time you've seen more Ganassi in Waterdeep. Like even in like a super varied, culturally diverse city as Waterdeep, like you haven't seen other Ganassi. You see a like almost scarily buff fire Ganassi woman, just hammering away at a long piece of steel that is still like molten and burning. And she's like only wearing like the bare essentials, like like an apron and like a leather like sports bra shaped thing, leaving most of like her body, her red skin exposed, and she's like thoroughly ripped. She almost puts the half orc you met at the Yawning Portal to shame. And in the meantime, you see at the same time you also see another Ganassi woman. This one's a water Ganassi, much like yourself, but she's more like green, like more like saltwater kind of Ganassi, I guess. And she is waving magic over some finished pieces. She's not nearly as like freakishly buff as the other one, but she's still pretty built. And she's weaving magic over finished pieces to endow them with runes and enchantments, and to generally like quelch the flames and everything.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So, and we're gonna kind of walk in and be like, "Hello," kind of to make sure they're not like, try to get their attention.
Got you. So Embry, the fire Ganassi woman that is hammering away the long piece of steel, she takes it and she dips it in a bucket of water, and steam just out of it. And she turns around and is like, "Oh, hey, how are you today? Can we do something for you?"
Yeah, and so in the fashion of like the Key and Peele Obama like shaking hands with the white people and black people sketch, Rush is gonna walk up to the fire Genasi and give like a very like professional handshake and be like, "Oh, hello, my name is Rush. This is my friend Gerald. We're business partners." And then I'm gonna walk up to the water Genasi and give like the full on like bro hug and just be like my man, or
oh my god,
and be like, and we're just trying to meet the new neighbors.
Oh my god. So Embry and Avi welcome you. And Avi, Embry talked with like a very like rah, rah, rah. She and like her hair is like actual flames, so she's kind of like a very demanding presence. But Avi, the water Genasi, is like quite laid back, and she's like, "Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. You say you're business partners, yes?"
Oh yeah, we bought out the old troll skull, and we're looking to get it up and running again.
Oh, that's so lovely. Oh, well, listen, my wife here and I, we've been looking to new places for date night all the time, and well, none of the taverns are very,
As I just imposed Genasi racism, she's telling me.
I was trying not to go there, but yes. And Embry's like, "Yeah, she keeps on getting mad whenever I arm wrestle people at the Yawning Portal, so we're not allowed to go there anymore."
Oh man, that's the best part of the...
You see, that's what I keep on telling her. Like, there's nothing wrong with like going in a place and establishing dominance. And Avi's like, Embry, love, please, shush. Well, can we do anything for you? I mean, we are, as you can see, we have a very productive blacksmithing business. We would love to help you with anything, or if you're in the market for weapons or armor, that is certainly our speciality. But we'd be more than willing to help with anything for the shop if you need.
I mean, we'll always take some help. We're obviously going to need the like taps and some things for behind the bar. Do you guys do glass?
We don't really do glass. That's a little fragile for us. But we
like metalwork.
Metalwork we can definitely do. As for the glass,
Rick.
Well, no. If you want to hear me do my Rick voice, I can do my Rick voice. But no, listen. Yeah, we can take care of that. As far as glass, well, I know a guy.
We know guys too. About
hey.
About once a week, we know it.
Remember, today we learned we need two guys. Technically a guy and a girl.
Yeah.
But only once a week.
Now, you guys are already getting the guild, because part of your deal with Quill was to get the guilds to come and get the place up to like quality standards. So like glass and like metal are already being kind of taken care of, but if you want to like really amp the spookiness, contracting them out would probably be a solid plan. So I just want to let you know that, like,
do like spooky suits of armor.
Like whole suits of armor.
I don't know. I'm just trying to brainstorm what we can get from them.
Well, okay. I could do. I tell you what I can do. Certainly can do. We don't have to put in all the effort to make it actually wearable. I can whip up a shoddy display suit of armor that no client of yours would ever know the difference between that and the real thing. Less metal.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't need to be functional. This thing is like purely aesthetic.
Yeah, of course. So I could maybe whip up like a couple gargoyle heads, you know, all the good stuff.
Distress it too. Yeah, no, like it doesn't need to like be able to withstand any amount of force. It just needs to be able to hold together for aesthetics.
Oh yeah. We can.
Scary skeleton, please.
Yeah, spooky scary skeletons.
Okay. No, let it never be said that we don't like helping out new businesses. And obviously, yes, we would love to help you. We can throw everything together. Let's say 50 gold for the whole thing.
Yeah, we could do that. You cool with that, Gerald?
Me, we have a good bit of disposable income, so if we come across anything else we need, we'll come to you.
All right, yeah, we got it. All right.
Yeah.
You met the two that I was most excited about were the lesbian genasi, fucking blacksmiths. The next one is Corellan's Crown. And
this is one of the ones that's like immediately next to us, right?
Yes, exactly.
So these are the ones we have to be real friendly with to avoid noise complaint.
The other one, the other one that is nearest you on the other side is the Tiger's Eye Detective Agency. So you walk in, and it's have you ever been to like an arboretum or like a very earthy part of like a zoo? Like where you're just assaulted by the smell of plants, of like all kinds of distinguishing like smells and kinds. You basically walk into that. It's like there's nothing but like all kinds of different fronds and ferns that you practically have to push out of the way before you come across rows and rows of flowers and weeds being grown in like different buckets and pots, and you even see like some hydroponic shit going up there. And then all the way near the back is a shelf with a bunch of potion bottles sitting. And people are you actually, this is the first time you've been into one of these shops where someone is actually in it. You see a couple people perusing, and then you see a fairly androgynous looking wood elf who they are fixing potions up and just moving things about, and they're like, "Oh, hello, how are you? The Earth Mother greets you. How are you?"
And also with you.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, well...
I mean, Russia's just gonna... It's got the trickster. But no. I'm doing well. Just meeting and greeting all the neighbors. We recently purchased the troll skull next door, and we're looking to get it up and running. So just kind of meeting around, meeting our neighbors.
Oh, well, that's very nice. I am Fala. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am the purveyor of this establishment. As you can see, I am an alchemist of no small repute.
Gotcha.
Cool.
What was that, Josh? Well, do you need some sort of any ails? Anything ails you, or perhaps it's a draught?
I feel a little less purple than usual, but
We've got some stuff coming up, some dangers ahead. It would be nice to pick up some healing potions.
Oh, yes, of course.
Just in case something came up, you know. You never know what's...
So, not only real estate, but adventurers as well. That's...
yes.
Interesting. So, follow...
Gotta pay the bill somehow.
Yeah. They step behind the counter, and they pull out the... well, they don't have to pull it out. It's like... They have a set of healing potions on the wall, because that's what everyone comes in here for. And it's a standard potion of healing for 50 gold apiece. Potions of healings, they go for that because it's like adventure essential.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'll do one.
I will as well.
Alright. Yeah, so 50 apiece.
Are we pulling that out of our startup fund or out of our individuals?
I don't see why we can't dip into the startup fund.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I just wanted to make sure you're cool with it.
A ton of money, so...
Right.
Now, is it a exclusively alcoholic establishment, or what are they?
We're still kind of like getting our business model together. We're looking. We'll probably expand into some other things at some point. But we're kind of feeling out our demographic and our clientele before we really expand too far.
Well, I have been aching to try a new place for tea. If you ever are in the market, please let Follow know. It's
yeah,
and like with a very with a very serene, almost like druidic, like air of like hippiness. Like continuing to talk to you, but like they're not like facing you anymore. They're like going about tasks in the shop.
So I do actually have one other question one other thing that I'm interested in that I don't know if you have something along this nature.
Yes,
but
of course. What is it?
I feel like out of anybody here, you would. So the kind of theme we're going with is kind of like leaning into the spookiness of the troll skull. So would you happen to have, I don't know whether it would be like plants that would generate it or like some sort of like potion concoction or something, but basically just something to give a constant, either like a floor level like mist, fog, something to keep the ground level kind of like spooky. Like nothing that's gonna fill the whole place, but like just kind of like a constant like mist that would be like ankle level.
They stop with what they're doing and they kind of pause for a little bit and think about it. Well, it would be easy enough to hang moss on the entrance. I would give you moss for free. But a potion that produces ample fog over time.
But relatively constant. Like, it's one thing that...
Yes, of course. That would be the difficulty in this. Most of my concoctions are more for the immediate consumption, you understand.
I want that fantasy fog machine.
Maybe think a cauldron. Would you have suggestions for items that we could boil together in a semi potion amount?
A fellow alchemist. Oh, what a brilliant idea. Perhaps putting the right concentration of things in a cauldron. Oh, and perhaps just a small enchantment to heighten the magic. Yes, of course. I would have to visit my neighbors at Steam and Steel for a proper vessel, but I would be happy to contract this out for you. And they offer you a lovely a cauldron of eternal steam, a cauldron of eternal smoke, we'll call it, for 50 gold arenos.
Okay, so that's 400 total. So we got 600 left.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah. Do y'all want to ask them anything else?
Maybe later. Today I'm good.
Gotcha.
I'll probably come back to them when we do more adventuring stuff, but for today I think I'm good.
Gotcha. Do you guys want to go to the Tiger's Eye, or do you want to skip over it since you've already met Vincent?
For now, we'll skip it.
Okay.
Unless you want to go in there for any reason.
I'm good.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if Gerald had a reason, like, I'll follow it. Like, I'm not gonna split this up.
Oh, I think Gerald's on the side of let's avoid that place like the plague.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like we're gonna see more of this guy than we want to. So.
See. You pass by the Tiger's Eye, and there's like a almost absurd amount of stray cats living out in front of it. Just like in the windowsills and just out in front, just like chilling around, just being cool. And it occurs to you now that you haven't seen like a single rat in this alleyway, and you're starting to realize why. The last one that you get to is the bookstore called the Bookworm's Treasure, and you pass underneath the sign with the gold dragon, and you see the place is decorated with a beautiful hardwood, and you smell the earthy scent of old books immediately. Excuse me. Whenever you walk in, tinged with like a slight bit of incense, and it is an open plan. It's like a two-story. It's a two-story bookstore, library kinda, but the second floor is more of like a circular rotunda with an open middle, if that makes sense. So that you can see up onto the second floor from the first floor, because it's like empty in the middle. And this place is packed with more bookshelves than you think any building should be able to hold. Like every possible inch of wall space is bookshelf. And you see a ladder spiral from one end of the store to the other into view, and a short gold dragonborn hops off. And when I say short, he's like short for dragonborn standards. He's about Geralf's height, which is again short for a dragonborn. But he comes up to you and he looks at you, Rush, and he kind of like, and then he looks at you, Geralf, and he's like, "It's about the right height." Yes, and he adjusts like his glasses with his fingers. It's like, "Tell me, have you ever been to the jungles of Chult, young man?" he asks you.
I've been a lot of places, but I don't know about that.
It's a shame. You must really go. I had you pegged for one of the reincarnated. You remind me ever so much of an old friend. Well, but that's neither here nor there. You must be here for books. What, excuse me. I am Rishal. How are you?
Good. We are the new owners of the Troll Skull Inn. I'm Rolf. This is Rush.
Oh.
Hey.
What did you do with the ghost?
He's still there. You know, he hangs out. He's not that bad.
You appeased him, are you saying?
Hopefully.
Oh, that's lovely. Dear old Leaf was... Oh, but the dear friend...
So you know him.
I knew him before his unfortunate passing.
Can you give us a little more insight on that?
Oh, what would you like to know? I suppose, well...
I mean, just kind of, what kind of guy he was. Like, I'm assuming it was a tavern then, too, based on his desire to kind of get things up and running.
Yes,
but
yes.
Kind of the general vibes from him, as well as like circumstances of his death. That would be kind of good to know.
Oh well. You see, poor old Leaf. The troll skull was. I don't know how to put this. It's difficult to compete with the portal, and especially if you're trying to tap into the same demographic as they are. Not that Durnan is a malicious businessman. If anything, he refers to others sometimes whenever he feels that he's getting too busy, but it's just difficult. Leaf wanted to be something special to rival the portal. And eventually the Troll Skull was not bringing in the funds to support his family and his ailing daughter. He did what many thought to be, and in truth was, a foolish thing. He tried to delve into the Undermountain, down into the Yawning Portal itself, and brave the place for its riches, and, well, he never came back until after the Troll Skull had shut down.
That's thing good to know.
So, I guess I'm just trying to figure out, like, why his spirit is sticking around. Like, is there something? I mean, yeah, I get that, he kind of delved into that, but was there, like, his death itself? Like, was there anything tragic about that, or did he just kind of die a failed businessman?
Well, my guess would be that he's staying around because the tavern was his pride and joy. It was what he left his old life in Cormyr to pursue. And even with it was to support his wife, yes, but chasing his dream was a part of it as well. As for his death, it was tragic, simple in the way of the loss of support for his family and for the closing of the store that he loved so very much.
Okay, but it wasn't like sketchy circumstances around his death. Just kind of a sad loss.
No, it happens more often than you would think. A businessman, hard on his luck, and he thinks that just because he can lift a sword, he can deal with a goblin or two in the Undermountain, and then he falls prey to something far, far worse. It happens more often than I'd care to say.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's good to know. Just kind of, like I said, we've established a base relationship with him, and I just wanted to affirm that we weren't getting in over our head there.
No. Just for the betterment of your own self, I would recommend staying from the Undermountain. But I say that to everyone. Durnan says that to everyone. But alas, can I get you anything? I have many books, scrolls if you're the spellcasting type.
Question.
Yes.
When we got up to Leaf's library, I know the rest of the house is basically gutted, but where that one was locked, was that furnished, or is it still just an empty library?
It was not empty, but
I know it had the gold, but was it like...
It had the gold, it had like a desk, and it had a library, but the library was mostly like historical accounts, as well as some I want to say historical fiction. A lot of it seems like Leaf was a history buff.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not like we have a bare library.
Yeah. You've got some books. It's just they're mostly like historical accounts.
Gotcha. And I still have my map. My map, was it of Waterdeep, or was it just of that district?
It was all of Waterdeep.
Okay, so we don't need that. Can you think of anything urgently we need this second? I mean, I'm sure we'll be doing business with you as we settle in, but I'm just trying to think if there's anything pressing we need.
Well, most of my clients are spellcasters, you understand. I can I can scribe just about any spell that you may need. I can provide books if you wish to pad the library out, perhaps provide some reading material for your customers. I could even teach a spell or two, perhaps.
Good to know. We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, like I said, we are, you know, I'm sure we'll need some stuff. I'm just trying to think. We're mostly looking at establishing relationship with our neighbors and then like getting our stuff up and running ground level.
Yes, yes.
I'm sure there's some things we'll need for, you know, personal use down the line, and we'll, you know, definitely refer our business to you.
Of
But
course.
I don't think there's anything the for the tavern that we'll need initially. I mean, you know, like I've been telling the other neighbors, you know, we want to dip our feet in before we jump completely head first. We got to know our clientele before we get going.
Of course, yes, of course. Well, my door is always open for you. Please tell Leaf I say hi. As a matter of fact, here, this was a favorite of his. I don't know if he ever owned a copy, but consider it a housewarming gift. And he goes and he gets up on the ladder and he kicks it off like really strongly. He's got like some strong dragonborn legs, and he careens off to like a specific section, plucks a dusty big black book off of the shelf, and he returns to you and he hands it to you. And the book is labeled "The Curse of Strahd."
Oh, well. Oof. All right. Yeah, no, definitely. We much appreciated, and I'm sure Leaf will be pleased as well, and I'll send your regards.
Please do, thank you. All right. So yeah, that's all your neighbors. I'm sorry this hasn't been like super actiony, but like I also kind of like shit like this. So what I want to do is, I know I said it would take like a month to get the place like running, but honestly, that's not fun. So I would like to retcon to where it can be done in like just about a week or two, and we can cut to your opening night.
Okay.
Would that be cool with y'all?
Yeah. Kind of going back on that. If we were ever able to get, I mean, I guess as much as I hate it, no, we could do the book guy. Ask him if he, you know, like go back to him and be like, by chance being a book, would you have any local records around here? Maybe like portraits, images of Leaf?
No, not officially, but I remember exactly what the man looked like. I can give you a perfect description and send it to a painter. We can give you something just as good.
Okay, yeah, no, that would be great.
And
could you refer us to this painter too?
Yes, of course. Yes, I'd be glad to. And he refers you to blah blah blah. Let me just blah 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 blah. blah. I need to look up because this is literally only a reference that I will get, and so this is entirely for me. But oh come on, what was the dude's name? Fuck.
While you're looking that up, I'm gonna kind of let Gerald know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we should pay homage to the original owner, especially since he's helping us out, and maybe get our 2 cents in there too. So I was thinking like maybe do his portrait and like ours on the wall too, especially since we're not gonna be around all the time. Kind of establish our importance. That way, our clientele doesn't necessarily when we show up like, who are these fuckers?
All right. He refers you to a painter known as Prism the Second.
Okay.
And yeah, Prism gets you a portrait done. It's like it's a 20 gold piece. It's not that much.
Okay. And ones of Giralf and Rush as well.
10 a piece because that's with an existing reference.
Okay. And just to make our finances a little easier, I'll tip him an additional 10.
Okay. I we'll say there were 15 a piece. How about that?
Okay, that's fine. And that's all. Yeah, hang Leafs up in the middle, and then ours like over the bar, like his in the middle, and then ours on both sides of it.
Right. Do you keep the troll skull outside over the entrance?
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
So, yeah. So, what I'm seeing here is you've got like a dark atmosphere going like low candlelight, keeping the hearths like nice and kind of dim. You've got like kind of rickety but firm furniture, compliments of Tally. The folks from Steam and Steel helped you with like details, like fine details on like old dusty suits of armor that looked like they'd been dented and possibly a little like scorched. You were able to get in another. Also, there's gonna be like yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You were able to get another new sets of not only food but ale that wasn't expired with some old wines and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I would even say that's like the Veneers Guild and everything that might have been included. I don't really feel like charging you guys arm and leg for everything. I'm trying to think of everything. And like the fog bursting forth, so that whenever you guys open your doors at like the late evening, probably whenever you guys like really like tell me how you guys like would model the business. Would you be like open during the day but not really kick in the horror aspect even though it's like midday, or do you guys like only open at night?
I mean, I would imagine just for the sake of it that it runs more like a restaurant than a
yeah,
like
I would say
traditional bar.
we lean into the spookiness at night, but it's still open daytime, especially since the herbalist was interested in like getting some tea over there. Maybe just like turn the fog down a little bit during the daytime.
Right. Okay,
but
yeah.
still like operate with like Josh said, like do the food and restaurant, and not like I'm not like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my vibe is like I'm not looking for like a rowdy party environment like the Portal. This is mostly like low key like piano jazz bar.
Yeah, and I was thinking even more like those like themed dinners.
Yeah. No,
like that.
like murder mysteries.
Yeah.
Because I tell you right now, if you were to
like
say
maybe even on like things we get a murder mystery type thing.
Oh, because like I'm telling you right now, if you were to say the words murder mystery in Dance's presence, he would be all on it. So yeah, you guys open and like
yeah, because I would be down with that, like murder mystery, like especially maybe not like every night, but like theme nights and stuff. That way we have like we're not doing direct competition with the Portal, like we give our own experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys do this on opening night, or are you just kind of like?
I would say that we would do like the full experience opening night. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys orchestrate a like a small murder mystery to like get everything started. The doors open and like smoke billows out, and you carry out like normal business to and like because it was a new thing and Vincent helped spread the word a little bit. Curiosity really like tipped some stuff into your favor, and the money you sunk into the presentation really helped your case. And by the time night fell and it was time for the murder mystery to unfold, you guys were dealing with a packed house, just like with all kinds of folks. And as Dance takes and this is just me assuming, but since Song is more of like a passive person, she's probably not standing.
Playing the spooky organ background music.
Exactly. while Dance is
Other Fugue in the background.
right. While Dance himself is more of a he's more of a host type. And
up in here.
yeah. So and let me because I was playing some Kingdom Hearts music and it got to like Roxas's theme, which while amazing is like this is too emotional for what's happening. Let's see.
Scooby-Doo's greatest hits.
Scooby-Doo background music. Oh my god, it is a thing and I love it.
Of course it's a thing.
Well, I know, but like, still, it's great.
Is it the one that goes?
No, it's the one where it's like. No, it's like a.
Is it bad? Is it bad that I can hear literally both of those?
This is what I'm using. So yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to. Oh man. Famous murder. Have either of you guys played Oblivion?
No. Sorry.
No. Okay. Well, that's really unfortunate. So Dance takes center stage and near the fireplace, and he's like, "Come one, come all, and let me bring you into a thrilling tale of whodunit. You see, for on this very night, one of our number has gone missing, murdered, most foul." And then he goes on to present a like, please don't ask me to fucking do this because I don't think I can improv an entire murder mystery off the top of my head. But no, he goes off, and a couple like familiar faces are seen in the crowd. A lot of the friends you made to the Doom Raider. As a matter of fact, the whole cadre of the Doom Raiders like has their own table at this, and at the end of it, much to his like very big amusement, the character that Davil Starsong was given to play ended up being the culprit of the murder, and he played his part like very, very well. All the while this is happening, Geralf, two people actually came and visited you. Renair, actually, Renair that you met last night.
Yeah.
Along with Floon and his old buddy, Three Strings, who's usually a Yawning Portal mainstay. The poor bard who only strung his lute with 3 strings. And yeah, they come in like, you know, the murder mystery has been solved and it's like winding down a little bit, but it's still like go time and like there's excuse me, my goodness. Song is still like playing stuff and Dance is still like, you know, entertaining people with like his flamboyantness. But yeah, Renair, Three Strings, and Floon come up to you and they like and Renair, he's like, well, this is quite a lovely setup you've got here. You put all this up in like a week or 2, yeah?
Yeah, something like that. I guess we just kind of have an eye for this kind of thing, you know?
Oh, you certainly pulled it off. This is not something I've seen. Theatrics I haven't seen since so, and he kind of leans in, and Floon and Three Strings kind of like go to check out something else, and he leans in towards you and he asks you, so, do I have your answer? Are you still interested?
Yes, I believe me and my partner are still willing to help. And now that our biggest issue has been removed by the police so kindly, maybe we can get some actual work done.
Yes, of course. Well, I meant that, of course, but I was more related to the letter. Josh, if you remember, I did message you on Facebook about a letter that you received.
Heck, I forgot. 1 second, let me double check.
In the meantime, Isaac, do you remember your letter?
Yeah. And I'm actually gonna go up to like the Doom Raider table like after everything's winding down and be like, hey, my man, like like kind of like like be like, hey man, walk up to ah, shit, what's his name?
Davil.
Dabble. Be like, do you like how I hooked you up, man?
Oh, I haven't had this much fun at a tavern in years, and I hang out at the Oni Portal every week. Oh, listen. That was... You've made a real impression on, like, everyone. I hope you know that, right? Most adventurers come into this town, and they waltz right into the portal after a day, and they never come back. That is what happens to most people. But you walk in, you cause a stink with the Zents and everything, and at the end of a week, you have your own tavern. Do you realize how weird that is?
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, this is just the dream. Like I told you, day one, looking for my slice of the pie.
Well, you've got your slice. I say, oh my goodness. Oh, this is quite the vibe that I personally enjoy. I don't know about Istrid over here, but she seems to be determined not to have a good time. And the dwarf, the dark skinned dwarf woman, like kind of like blows her hair out of her face. She's like, ugh.
No, it's all good. Like our business motto goal in this was just to provide a unique experience. We know that we can't like compete head to head against the more established. Uh, we can't the portal like that's its own thing. So we just figure like what's something that we could provide that this part of Waterdeep just doesn't have.
Yeah, well, you've got good business acumen, kid. You really do. I'm actually quite impressed. You probably doing the Rose guy, Sharamon. That was it. Doing him proud.
Yeah.
So, listen.
Big ups.
So listen. There's really no formal way to make one a Doom Raider. I mean, there is, but that's a little different. But I just wanted to introduce you to the crew, really. You've met myself, obviously, Davil Starsong. Istrid over here you've met as well, dour as she is. I believe you've met Tashlin as well, Tashlin Nefira. And it's a very tall, dark-skinned human woman that was hanging out with Davil another night that you've been here. She looks like she's kitted out in armor like at all times. But I don't believe you met my other two friends. This here's Schemo Weirdbottle. And it's a little gnome. It's a little gnome dude with like gray skin, and like he's kitted out in like potions all over, and he doesn't smell particularly great. But he waves like a rock and roll symbol like with his hand at you. And and of course Zarl over here, and it's like this monster of a half orc. You might even be like willing to say adventure that he's like a 3/4 orc at this point. Who's like open carrying the biggest compound bow you have ever seen in your life. It is taller than you are, and he's just wearing it on his back.
All right.
So,
nice to meet you guys.
So, just to make it official, would you like to be a Doom Raider? Might as well come right out and say it.
Well, yeah. I figured that was kind of the reason behind your invites and greeting you, like give back to you, like I'm not so yeah, no, I'm in it.
Very good. Hold out your right hand.
All right, I do that.
All right, and Istrid casts like a spell with by snapping her right hand, and her then rubs her index and her thumb fingers together to where they start to glow as if they're like hot iron, and then she places them around your middle finger and pinches down, and it burns. It does not feel good. It kind of really hurts, but she holds on to it fast even if you try to like hold on. She's holding on to you really tight, and then she pulls off and then taps it with a small healing spell, and then you've got what looks like an upside down black winged serpent on your middle finger.
Cool.
Josh, are we good?
Yes, I went back and read it again.
Okay. Um,
He's going to look at them and kind of be like, "So you're the ones who sent me this cryptic message?"
we're friends, if you would.
Well, if you're involved, at least it's a little more trustworthy. Yes, I think I'll follow this to its logical conclusion.
All right. Well, the late night opera is about to conclude. You could be about in like 30 minutes. We'll be there waiting for you. And let's see.
So we'll just
Yeah, would you like to?
take the allotted time and then head over.
Yep. So it's like 2 in the morning, and you meet behind the opera, and so it's like a reserved room, and Three Strings actually brings like forth a book and hands it to Renair, and in walks from a door that you guys came through, that like joining the party a little late, is a kind of like a semi-fat man with like very puffy curly blonde hair and just a very jolly disposition about him. And he speaks. God, I need to like do my best John Cleese here. It's like, oh, so this is a new friend, is it? Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, boy. Have they told you everything yet, or are they keeping you in the dark like they usually do?
Well, I do not know what's going on or who you even are, but I'm Giralf. It's nice to meet you.
My boy, we have very good reasons for being secretive. We are a group known as the Harpers. We're an institution that is dedicated to the general do-goodery throughout the entire realms. We seek to thwart any abuse of tyranny, any ill use of magic, and fight for the common man, the ones that have been wronged by the pursuit of power, much like your people in Scornabel. We have been watching you since you've arrived in the city, and I dare say that you seem to be just what we're looking for. Someone who wants to do right, no matter what it takes. My name is Mert. Most people call me Mert the Moneylender. And I would be delighted to offer you a place in the Harpers.
My interest peaked, but I think I'd like some more details about exactly what kind of helping we do.
Well, it's a bit of a decentralized organization. Most Harper agents have many other commitments, and typically only act when needed. Many of them are adventurers, such as yourself. Typically, they act in isolation, solving problems when they see them and reporting back to their superiors. It's not uncommon for them to take on difficult adventuring jobs just because it's the right thing to do. Orcs are attacking a settlement. A local thieves guild is bleeding the poor people on a street dry. We take care of these things, and we do it. Excuse me, sorry. And we do it quietly. Not unlike vigilantes of a sort, if you understand. The city of Waterdeep has many problems, as I'm sure you and Renair have already figured out, but we have a vested interest in seeing them undone.
Well, I will agree that I've intolerable that certain people have been allowed to run around and do as they please. It seems that your group and mine would be aligned, uh, at least in cause. Kind of compensation. If you know about me, then you know that I'm not exactly here to stand up for everybody. I do have a group to look after.
That's only fair, I suppose. Well, I must say that the Harpers are definitely dedicated to the realm as a whole, every individual agent has their own special interest. I will confirm that you do get a stipend, of course, but the most valuable thing that you will get from your association with us is a network. You will find yourselves knowing people that you weren't able to know before. You will find yourself discovering opportunities that would have been otherwise out of your reach. Whether this leads to more monetary gains is, well, up to fate, really. I understand your need, your want to restore your family place. I forgot that I'm supposed to be doing John Cleese. Anyway, Maya, what you're trying to do with Scornabel, and I guarantee you, you're just the sort of person we need to do work in the area. I would love to assign you as the agent of the Scornabel area and the rebuild effort. But before we do that, the problems in Waterdeep must be taken care of.
Enough. I agree, or I would be most agreeable to these terms, and would be willing to to offer my help.
Very good. We'd be delighted to have you. There's one very important part before we swear you in. The name of the Harpers, in our very cause, is to be a secret. We operate best whenever we are hidden from scrutiny, both from our friends and our enemies. It is best that you don't go about saying our name out loud, saying who your friends are in that capacity. By all means, tell everyone that your friend is Renair, but don't say that you know him from work, if you understand. All I'm trying to say is, if you protect our anonymity, you will find yourself much more able to get work done in the local area. With that being said, all we really need is for you to sign this here writ of initiation, and you'll consider yourself an agent in the Harpers.
Enough.
Alright. You sign your name. Renair presides as your overseeing maybe your sponsor, so to say. And you sign something that basically you swear not to divulge or to compromise the operation or its secrecy. And then they give you a Harper pin to wear on the inside of your whatever jacket or whatever you're wearing. The Harper pin is a small harp and moon, and it has a magical effect that protects you from any and all attempts to read or control your mind. You basically
That'd be super helpful.
Yeah, you basically have permanent mind shielding while you're wearing it.
Six people step out of the shadows and go, "All hail Symphonia!"
Then you start slaughtering the goat. Good times. So yeah, all this goes down, and that's kind of all I really had for you. To be perfectly honest, there's I'm trying to think if there's a strong note for me to end on. Yeah, you know what? There is actually. Let me think. I think I'll hold on to that one. I just need to give me just a second while the Scooby-Doo music continues to go off in the background. Yeah, okay. So it's about 2 weeks after the opening. You guys have put on a couple more events and everything, but you're really raking in plenty to not only cover the cost of operation, but also, plenty to skim on the side. Song and Dance are bringing in old au naturel clientele, and are generally just doing a great job of keeping the place running even whenever you guys have stuff to do. And things have been quiet on the mission front related to like Renair and the stone that you guys were pursuing. And it looks like you guys are really just settling into everything that's happening. When the sun rises on a warm, early summer day, the first day of summer actually, you hear a commotion. And all of a sudden, a blinding light. Windows rattle as the roar of an explosion fills Troll Skull Alley. Charred bodies and anguished screams fly through the air. A thick cloud of acrid smoke billows outwards from the blast, which seems to have occurred right outside of your door. And you see people that your clients are like springing, like running for their lives, not sure what just happened outside. But they're just like, they're sprinting left and right, like screaming, trying to like find their loved ones and get the hell out of there. What do you do?
Probably the only sensible thing to do. Well, I'll run into it, try to find out what's going on.
Yeah, I'll go with them.
Right. You guys step outside of the front door, and a mere few yards away from you is a black crater in the middle of the street that barely, it looks like the blast just barely missed lighting your establishment on fire. And in the very middle of this crater is a charred black corpse of what appears to be a gnome. And that is where we'll end for tonight. Yay! So, I'm sorry that there wasn't a lot of like action. Well, there was no action or combat or anything, but I think it's important to like establish the Troll Skull Alley and like understand like what you guys are doing to get the just understand what you guys are doing with the manor, because the manor's cool because you can do literally anything you want to it. It can just be like a place for you to chill and never really fix up, or you can do what you did and like turn into a nice little place. And I think I really like that you guys chose to do that. So standard thing. I mean, first of all, did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Right. Excellent. I'm glad to hear it, because I know that was like a little laid back, but and like correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys seem to enjoy stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah,
I love that kind of stuff. World building is the best, dude.
I'm glad you think that, because I like totally agree. I love doing shit like this. I could just do full sessions that are nothing but just like fucking around with NPCs. So we will, you know, if Mark can join us next week, then we will deal with where Book has been and like what he's doing now. But yeah, in the meantime, I'd like to do our round the table thing as always. Even though there's only two of you present tonight, you know, one thing that you like that another player did. You can start with Geralf as always, because you're left on my illustration thing.
Well, I mean, Isaac kind of just took the lead for a lot of it, which is always nice.
I was trying to redirect as much of it to you as I could.
I tend to take chatty characters and then not do the whole chatty thing. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, we'll work on it. There's still plenty of time to talk with people. It also just like generally. Oh yeah, and also like really fun thing that I really like is that the two of you guys, you guys can meta know this because neither of you guys know about the organizations you've joined, but you two have joined rival organizations.
Oh, of course we have.
Dibs on sharks.
Oh man.
Let me get into a dance fight.
No, the Zentarum and the Harpers are like eternal enemies. Now the Doom Raiders are kind of really chill versions of the Zents. So yeah, I was gonna say like Gerald, like for example, you know, as a Harper initiate, you know that like lifelong enemies with the Zents and everything, and like you've encountered Zents, but you do not know that Rush has just like fallen in with people who are Zents, and Rush as a
Oh
new.
no, he just completely like blindly like first person to invite him to join the club. Like he has not done his homework at all.
Oh yeah, and well, like even then, like they the Zents, the Doom Raiders will tell you that like they don't really have like any significant beef with the Harpers, but they still carry the Zent name, and thus they carry the hatred that the Harpers have for the Zentarum, and they tell you to stay away from the Green Cloaks, which is another name for the Harpers. They tell you that they're generally secretive, and you will never really know when someone is one, but if you do, stay away from them. And I just really like the dramatic irony of all that. Isaac, you have any fun, positive thing to say for Josh? I like how I'm like basically running like what is essentially couples therapy, but for two dudes who play D&D together.
I feel like Isaac and I would make a really good improv group.
I really think like you guys would.
Both very good at looking at each other and going, yeah, and
That's the name of the improv group. Yeah, and
Yeah. No, I definitely think that it was a lot of like just we vibe off each other pretty well. Like you said, I kind of took point and I tried to back off a little bit because I was like, all right, you're playing the cleric this time, not the but. Old habits die hard.
It's also it's kind of hard to balance a dynamic for two players, like with three, because like one thing, and I'm sure you guys noticed this being the players, but like one thing that I've been trying to do with Dragon Heist that I've very much been enjoying is that I haven't been afraid to separate you guys and do separate scenes,
right?
Because like it feels good to be featured, and a lot of this doesn't take place in dungeons, so not being together all the time is not a death sentence. You guys are like usually in the city, so it
well
can,
that
yeah, go ahead.
And Dragon Heist is more about playing smart than playing like power.
Yeah, absolutely. You could finish this entire like I firmly believe that this entire module could be completed at level 1, like never leveling up whatsoever.
Yeah. Because like I said, my initial instinct entering the manor was to be like, all right, just the D&D player behind me, like, break into dungeon, fuck shit up immediately, was like, all right, turn undead immediately. No, different module.
So
let's see where this plays out.
And it's really funny because like pull back the curtain a little bit. That was actually going to be like much harder, but you did exactly what Leaf wanted, which was to see his inn run again, and the purifying of the expired ale was a very symbolic action, and so I couldn't take that from you. It was perfect, and so it trimmed down what I was expecting to take like upwards of an hour into like a 15-minute encounter, and now you have an employee for life.
Almost nothing if not amicable, like the guy just wants to do good. That just takes smoothing some hands or whatever.
Right, and
that's what we'll do.
Right, and we're still kind of like getting into. We're not gonna be able to explore these guys as much as we did, like Jeramong and company, but I hope that like with the initiating of like the factions, which I believe Dragon Heist is super fun with factions, that we can get like some good drama going and everything, because all these characters are very important actors. Dragon Heist is an incredibly adaptable module where any amount of things can come into play, any amount of people can come into play. So God, there's just so much I want to do, and go ahead.
And I think no, you're good. Go ahead. Sorry,
I just
thought. Go ahead.
I really want you guys to meet each of the villains in some way. Make sure that you guys meet as many of the important characters as possible. Because I think, like, not only do they give you a good baseline, because, like, the base things just are really great, but, like, they give you so much room to maneuver. And I'll tell you right now that I played a lot of the NPCs tonight very differently from how they're written in the book. Like, for example, for some reason, the Ganassi married couple at Steam and Steel are actually two gay men. In the book, I totally forgot about that, and for some reason just had the lesbian aesthetic in my head. Mostly because I've been watching lots of Steven Universe, and that's just an incredibly lesbian show. So I just had that in my head. So it's supposed to be Embrick and Avi, not Embry and Avi. But that was just like a literal accident. When I said the word woman, I was like, oh, I guess I'm fucking going with this. I just also really like how diverse the cast is in general. Like how they have a non-binary elf that runs the herbalist shop, which is exactly like what most of the elven deities are, and kind of what elves in Forgotten Realms are in the first place. Are kind of like, on the whole, very androgynous and like non-binary and everything. It's a very common thing for them.
I think, dude, and thanks for letting us bring back song and dance.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you liked them. I thought that was like a thing only I really liked.
No. The other thing
Tried to murder them because I care.
Like
the other thing that I'm kind of excited for is, I think something that we're setting up for that we haven't really had in previous campaigns is healthy character conflict.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna say that we haven't had character conflict, but it's kind of been teeth bearing before. Like this, I think we're setting up to have that conflict, but it's not gonna we're not gonna want to pound our heads against walls afterwards.
Right, exactly. This is, and you're seeing why I prefer pre-written modules much more than coming out with my own stuff. I have so much more room to maneuver, and all the work has been done for me, so I can focus my attention on, like, you know, riffing and coming up with shit. I was gonna say, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm so super excited to just like continue doing. I have like so much shit to say off of that, but like it all like immediately left me. I don't know. There's so many possible solutions to all this. So many people to meet. And just so many options to take that, like, I really cannot predict what will happen next. And I think that's the best possible scenario, is that I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. So I'm glad you guys are having that's what I wanted to say. Song and dance being welcomed. I was surprised, mostly because and, like, I'm not afraid to talk about this, but, like, I have, like, a crippling insecurity complex about my own writing. I'm not used to people enjoying what I write. And, like, a voice in the back of my head is always telling me to, like, be humble if it ever happens. And, like, not accept compliments because of things like that. So, but it's nice, you know what I mean? And I'm glad to bring them back because I really like the concept of the two of them as well. And I wish I would have been able to explore them more in the last bit they were in, but I kind of rushed it, and you guys sold your souls to evil gods, so you know.
Yeah, well, that and this is a bit more of a theatrical experience anyway, so I feel like it's a little more fitting even.
Right, yeah, it's more amplified, and I'm glad to see that they've been scarred by their experiences with the Order of the Candlestick, and also
right.
The fucking poetic irony of them working for someone who literally worships Jeremiah.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I like kind of danced around that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I think even Rush isn't that naive. Like,
no, like he can definitely pick up that, like, that just from hearing Song talk, she's not the biggest fans of them. Dance just wants to make money because he wants to live and have fun.
Isn't there a branch of All Natural in this town?
Yes, there is.
It's very realistic that, like, Luthier disguised as Sir Reginald could show up.
You know, you tell me what disguise you want Luthier to wear, because that is 100% a thing that can happen. Because I think, okay, Ragnar is on a different plane of existence right now, chilling in Sigil, and Jeramon has ascended. So yeah, so Luthier is just out and about doing his thing with Kyle. That is totally a thing we could do if you really want to.
I'm tempted to make it. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. I guess I'll message you later.
Yeah,
We'll see.
hook me up. Just keep in mind, I don't want any position where Luthier could be a combatant, or I don't want him to solo encounters for you. Is what I'm saying. I'm totally I'm totally fine with him being like present for like maybe a like very inconsequential or like laughably impossible fight that he just takes care of for you, but you know, it's very much like he'd be there for the theatrics more than the fighting, and he wouldn't help you.
Yeah, I don't think Luthier could take care of anything. We broke his OP bow.
Yeah,
we pissed Tyler off enough, and he's just like, you know what? Screw this. Ignores all the villains and just makes Luthier the campaign boss.
Okay, but like the best part about this is that even if Luthier is like level 20, there's a solid chance that he would not be able to finish this campaign as well as Geralf, Rush, and Book could, because this module rewards like clever acting and like intense thought and pulling off plans very well.
Yeah, and Luthier a moron.
Yeah, like rushing combat against the villains who, by and large, are all iconic Forgotten Realms characters who are like well beyond level 20 bosses. You know, it really requires like, and like I'm not afraid to tell you guys that because it doesn't really spoil who the villains are. I'm trying to think. Them, and you have met 2 of the villains so far. Well, Book has met 2. You guys have met 1. And I think that's just really, really fun. So yeah, I could talk about this all night, but I don't want to like spoil shit. I have many good ideas. Do you guys? What's up?
Just so you know, we didn't get to do it tonight, but because there wasn't any combat. But
right.
Just so you know, just another like going back to my ode to Jeramon.
Mm-hmm.
My spiritual weapon is a die.
Oh fuck yes. God,
I was like so ready to use that tonight, and I was like, oh man. I mean, I get that not every, like especially in this module, it's not, you know, not all of them. But I'm just like, man, I hope that happens so I can unveil that one. But
you know
so
what?
just so you guys know.
You know what?
And it doesn't even have to have like like I'm completely cool with it just being like straight spiritual weapon. Like, I would never.
No. We're doing this. We're fucking this whole pig. I'll try to see about giving each of you a special feature. And Rush, this is yours. Your spiritual weapon is now improved spiritual weapon. So it's like spiritual weapon, but whenever you make the first attack, and only the first attack with it, it will launch the roll on Vriska Sorket's Ruby die.
Alright, I'm cool with it.
Because that's a mechanic that I really fucking loved. Even though, like, it more often than not comes up not doing anything, it's still, like, super...
Right.
Yeah, it's still, like, a extra little bit of, oh, what happened? Oh. So, oh, man, that's
Wild magic is the best. Like, don't let anybody lie to you. Wild magic is, heckin' bee's knees, as it were.
I will try to, I'll try to figure out something for Geralf and Book. I could technically pass off Geralf's as the Harper pin, but that's something that all Harpers get, and like, you know, that's not a huge freaking deal. So I'll think about it. I would like it to be like an ability or something.
Well, we can look into it.
Yeah, and if
it could be like something from Scorn Bell or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you have any ideas, just let me know. And the same will apply to Mark, and I'll have to give him a rundown of all this. And I'm trying not to tempt myself because I told myself that I wouldn't like DM in this group again after this because I prefer being a player. But like, dude, everything about this makes me want to like continue with these guys through the entirety of the fucking Dungeon of the Mad Mage after this. Because this module is made to be a lead up into that. So I don't want to because that would take literal years to finish. But like, man, I'm just really having fun.
Especially with how this party goes.
Yeah.
Literally, you want to meet your neighbors? Yeah, we're literally gonna knock on all of their doors.
And I had a fucking blast. This is great.
Oh, I do have a question.
What's up?
And this one might not. What do we want to do next? I know we talked about getting a DM in, which is fine with me.
Oh yeah, that's true. Let me just say, we'll go ahead and end the stream here, and we'll talk about that off stream, because I forgot we were streaming, honestly. But yeah, thank you, future us, for listening back. Thank you, future Tyler, for listening and doing your job as a fucking DM and preparing, by listening back to this. If you didn't, then I hate you. But stop playing Warcraft. Anyway, yeah, we'll catch next time on episode. Oh, do we have an episode title for this one? I'm thinking, won't you be my neighbor?
So
that sounds good.
All right, cool. Won't you be my neighbor? It is. All right, tune in next time for the next episode of Waterdeep Dragon Heist.